Hey everybody, like I said, I'm gonna do a few more videos here. And man, I'm really gonna try to keep them to 10, 15, 20 minutes. I know I've said that in a number of the videos, but um, some have been 50 minutes or 30 minutes, and I don't want that. I don't want to have the videos being that long. Um, but this is just a continuation of like what I see in society, what I see just in society as a whole, what I see in Christian communities, what I see in churches. Um, and it really just makes me sad. But today, this video um, is going to be, something that I think we have to have a discussion about, a conversation about. Once again, if you do want more in-depth conversation, send an email, scottdc9999 at gmail.com, and I'll put that in the comments as well. Um, you know, uh, we I watch these people, well-intended, good-hearted people, and they ask God to bless this country. They ask God to bless this world, um, and it's to me. I think when we do that, I think it's in vain. Um, I think it's um, I think it's kind of a selfish request, um, because um, this this country, the United States, um, just like a lot of other countries, is very corrupt, as far as politics go, as far as federal government goes, and state government and local government. Um, there's a lot of corruption. It's one reason why I don't pick a side as far as Republican or Democrat, because there's corruption on both sides. There's corruption on both sides. Um, there's good-hearted people on both sides, but there's a lot of corruption on both sides. So that's one reason why I don't pick a side. That's one reason why I don't affiliate myself with Republicans or Democrats. Um, I, I I think that uh, this is just my opinion. I think that Christians should um, look on from the outside and see what's really happening. I'm not saying that, and please don't twist my words. Please do not twist my words. I'm not saying that morals shouldn't affect laws and regulations and policies. I'm not saying that religious people shouldn't be in government. I'm not saying that Christians shouldn't be in government. What I'm saying is, I believe, and this is just my opinion, I think that Christians should take the Republican label off themselves. I think Christians should take the Democrat label off themselves, because here's the thing. Once you choose a side, then it's almost like you can't have conversations with the other side without it turning into a hate-filled argument, with no love and no peace and no resolution. And so, do I believe that morals should what am I trying to say? Do I believe that morals should influence law and regulations and policies? Yes. Do I think that um, Christians should be in government? Yes. Um, but I think we need to remove the labels from ourselves, because guess what, Republicans? There is corruption in the Republican Party. And guess what, Democrats? There's corruption in the Democrat Party. There just is. And if you're blind to it, I'm sorry. If you're blind to it, open your eyes. What we're seeing in these last 15, 20 years, it's very clear that there's a lot of corruption on both sides. Anyway, I just want to read this. I wrote this down the other day, and I just want to read this so I don't leave anything out. And I'll just leave it at that. So, because this is what I see. What this country supports. What does this country as a whole support? This country has what, 360 million people in it? I don't know. I didn't look it up. It's somewhere around there, 360, 370, 380. As a whole, what does this country support? This country supports slaughtering babies. This country supports mutilating children. This country supports pedophilia. This country supports men beating the shit out of their wives or girlfriends. Then politicians ask God to bless this country. That request perverts the gospel. We pervert the gospel by seeking a sign, a wonder, or a miracle. We pervert the gospel to fit our own understanding, our own agenda, and our own ideas about who God is and what God is. With our faith, this is with our false faith, if you will. With our false faith, we say, God, I'll believe it when I see it. Or, I'll believe in God if he does X, Y, and Z. That is not faith. That is perverted faith. That is false faith. Jesus himself said, an evil and adulterous generation seeks after a sign. So, right there, and I said this in another video too. Does God still heal? Yes, physically. Does God still physically heal? Yes. Does God redeem? Yes. Does God perform miracles? Yes. But we have to be careful of what we're seeking. Are we seeking the Lord, or are we only seeking the miracle? Are we seeking the Lord only for the miracle, or are we seeking the Lord for everything, for breath and for life? Jesus, again, I don't like the way I say Jesus. I don't know why. I just don't like how it comes out of my mouth. But anyway, when Jesus rose from the dead and he presented himself to his disciples, Thomas, I think it was Thomas didn't believe it was him, and Jesus had to show him the holes in his hands and the wound in his side and the holes in his feet, and then Thomas believed. Jesus says, blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. So what I'm saying is, should we stop asking God to heal us physically? No, we shouldn't stop asking God to heal us physically. But if he doesn't, then we shouldn't not believe him. We shouldn't lose faith. We shouldn't lose trust. We shouldn't rebel. And I'm kind of jumping around in this video, and that's okay. If you look at Abraham in his life, the promise that the Lord gave to Abraham wasn't fulfilled for like 600 years. And what did Abraham do, though, when the Lord told Abraham that he was going to bless him with a child? what did Abraham do? He tried to take matters into his own hand. And Sarah, his wife, was barren. And so Sarah said, well, the Lord promised that you would have children. So here, take my maidservant and bear children with her. And that happened. But that wasn't the Lord's plan. And so the Lord corrected Abraham and was like, wait a second, man. I told you that I was going to bless you. And then you went and tried to do it all by yourself. So I think we need to look at that in our own lives too. When God promises things, that we don't have to try to do them. We don't have to try to take matters into our own hands when we don't see God doing it. If God promises something, He's going to do it. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. We might not like His ways. We might not like His timing. But He's going to do what He told you He's going to do. He's going to do what He said that He was going to do. On the other hand, if He tells you to do something, then you ought to do it. You ought to trust Him, and you ought to do it. Yeah. Let me see if I left anything out. Oh, we need to trust the Lord. I think that's the key to most of this. We have to trust the Lord. We have to trust His ways, and we have to trust His timing. All right. So let me get back to what I said at the beginning of this video. We have to. I think if we really truly want to see a national movement of the Lord, over the last few years, there's been local movements in different spots of the country, different cities, different states, and that's been amazing, and that's been wonderful, and that's been grand, and that's been just pretty cool. But if we want to see a national move of the Lord, national revival, nationwide seeing people come to Jesus, nationwide seeing people understand and believe the truth, nationwide seeing people trust the Lord, we have to stop believing that politicians have our best interest at heart. They don't. We have to stop following politicians. We have to stop making politicians popular. We have to stop relying on government to help us in our lives. All they do is for show. All they do is for power. All they do is for votes. All they do is for money. It is. During election times, candidates will go to different churches and they'll make themselves seen and they'll make themselves heard, and it's like they're doing that for show. They're doing that for votes. They're doing that for power. They're doing that to try to con you into believing them. And that's just wicked and corrupt and stupid, in all honesty. Here's the thing, and I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning of this video, and then I'm going to just end it, okay? What does this country support as a whole? What does this country support as a whole? This country supports slaughtering babies. This country supports mutilating children. This country supports pedophilia. This country supports men beating the shit out of women. And we turn around and we try to ask God to bless this country. He's not going to do it. I can promise you that. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. When we stop slaughtering babies, when we stop mutilating children, when we stop our obsession with pedophilia, when we stop men from beating the shit out of women, when we stop all those things, and hear me, please hear me, when we stop all those things, then we can ask God to bless this country. Then we can, hope to see a national coming to Jesus movement, coming to the truth, believing the truth, trusting the Lord. But until those things stop, God is not going to bless this country. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And I'm just going to stop the video right there and hope that there's conversation. I really do. I really do. I hope that there's conversation. Thank you very much.